everyone. I hope you're having a good Saturday. And I hope you're excited for class. I am excited. So I'm going to just wait a minute to see if people are getting logged on. And then we'll start talking about the different crystal shapes and how you can use them on a daily basis. Okay, so looks like we have someone on. I'm not able to see the names yet, so we'll see. But so today we're going to be just talking about, hi Patty, we're going to be talking about the different crystal shapes and how you can use them on a daily basis in your regular life. Because I think what happens is oftentimes we go to crystal shops and we buy crystals because they call to us. And that's how we're supposed to pick them, because that means that they are special to us. That means that that's what the energy we need in our life at that particular point in time. But then we get them home and, we're not really sure, what do I do with this? It's a generator. What do I do with this crystal ball? I really liked it. It's really pretty, but I'm not really sure how to use it practically in my everyday life. So that the energy benefits me. So today, that's what I really wanted to focus on. It's just kind of getting back to basics, going through the different types of crystal shapes. Some of them, I haven't gone through everything because, crystals can be carved in a lot of different ways. So for carvings, it's more specific to what they're carved in. For instance, angels. If you have a crystal angel, that's going to really connect you up to the angelic realm, to your spirit guides, stars. How do you shine bright? How do you illuminate, right? So those particular carvings are going to be based more in what the carving is of. Animals, in shamanism, animals all symbolize different things. The hawk has incredible focus. So all of those particular carvings are really going to relate back to what the carving is and then what the carving is made of, what crystal. But I'm just going to go over some basics. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was really single terminated wands. Now they can be like this, which I call a healing wand because I really think that's the intent with these. There's crystal wands that are incredibly ornate. They have many different types of crystals embedded in, different wire wrapping. And so those are a little more different than what I'm talking about today. They could still be used the same way, still be used the exact same way that I'm going to describe with the single terminated wands. So the single terminated wands really gather energy at the flat end and directs it through the point. So what does that mean? Well, for instance, this is Phoenix stone, and Phoenix stone is a combination of chrysocolla, malachite, azurite, quartz, and turquoise. So chrysocolla is a heart chakra stone. So you could really direct this in. I'm going to try to turn a little bit. And the way I use these for healing each day is, let's just say you're really feeling like you're unloved, you're feeling like your heart has been hurt. You can really point this right at your heart and just visualize. What I like to visualize is white light energy coming through the crystal, one way into your heart. You can also do golden light, but just visualize the progress of the energy going from the bottom of the crystal through the point and into your heart chakra. You can also use Phoenix stone for a throat chakra. So if you're feeling like you're blocked, you can't really say the things you need to say, you're not really able to speak your truth, you can do the same thing with this, with Phoenix stone. You want to choose a throat chakra stone or a heart chakra stone, whatever chakra you're going to work on that you feel is maybe blocked. And you're just going to visualize that. Close your eyes and just visualize that white light energy flowing through the crystal into your throat chakra, and really just clearing any blockages. Again, it could be golden light. And I will say, whatever you're called, the process you're called to do is probably what's right for you. Use your intuition, because your intuition's not going to let you down in this case. So again, that's what I use single terminated wands for. And let's just say it's soda light and you really want more clarity. You're not sure which path to take. You can really use soda light at your third eye, and just again visualize that white light energy coming through the crystal and into your chakra to clear. These can also be used as for grids, especially, for instance, the Phoenix stone, because it has quartz in the matrix. So when you make a crystal grid for a specific purpose, you could put, let's just say it is helping you with a free flow of ideas or creativity or free flow of communication. You could put this as the center of your grid, and because there is quartz in the matrix of this stone, it's going to boost the energy of all the other stones you have in that grid. So that is single terminated. Double terminated wands have the 2 points. Hopefully you can see that clearly. Hi Sybil, hi Christine, hi Susan. So they have the 2 points. Think of this more as the freeway. This is going to have energy going both ways. Free flow. And the way I like to think for these is that, and shungite is a perfect one to use. Shungite, selenite, those are going to be perfect wands to get because they're purifying crystals. So let's just say, our solar plexus is blocked. We could always, and actually we'll do the heart chakra because I'm not sure I can get the camera down there. But let's say our heart chakra is blocked. The way I like to use these, same idea as the single terminated for the point coming towards you. Hi Cynthia. Is that you're going to visualize that white light energy coming through the crystal into your heart chakra. However, the way you can also use a double term is to send any blocked energy out the other end. So that's why these are really good to use, because you can really get that healing energy to your chakra, but also push away that blocked negative energy from you. So they're going to clear stagnant energy. That's what is a great thing about these, is like I said, they're not just going to move the energy towards you, they're also going to push any bad energy away. So that is double terms, and you can do that. I also have a fluorite one, purple fluorite, which you could use again at your third eye. And if maybe we should real quick go through the chakras. So we have the crown, which is going to be the crown of your head, which is really going to deal with your connection to a higher spirit. Your third eye, which is going to be your intuition. Your throat, which is all about communication. Your heart chakra, which is all about love. Your solar plexus, which is 2 inches above your belly button, is going to be about your confidence. Your sacral chakra, which is 2 inches below your belly button, is going to be about your creativity, sensuality. And then your root chakra, which is the base of your tailbone, is all going to be about your, how should I say it, your comfort, your safety, security. So if I was going to use a double term purple fluorite, I could just use it at the third eye to really visualize that white light energy or golden light, whichever you prefer. And again, your intuition will guide you. energy coming through to heal, and also any negative. And the way you can visualize this is the way I like to visualize this. Again, use your intuition, it's going to guide you. But the way I like to visualize is I like to visualize for the blocked energy more like a dark kind of smoky energy, and just visualize it coming through this side of the crystal out so that it's away from you. Okay, so next we have Vogels. Now you can always tell it's a Vogel because it's going to be bigger on the top. It's double terminated, bigger on the top, wider. This is the feminine end of it where it's going to give. And then this is the masculine end, which is the more narrow. Now, the way you can use Vogels, these are really useful for physical healing as well. And the way you're going to use a Vogel is, let's just say I have pain in my arm. Your energy field is about 12 inches out from your body. So I can just dig in to the energy field and just visualize that you're removing that smoky, negative energy. And then you're going to want to release it, and you can release it to wood. So I usually do like a tap on the wood. I don't have wood here, but let's just say this is wood. You would tap it and you're releasing it through. You could release it to salt. You could release it to smoke, fire, sand. So, and when you're releasing it, just visualize that negative energy coming back out of the crystal. So these are really useful for physical healing. I use them all the time. You know, if my son has a stomach ache, I really just, you know, get into the chakra, and then I'm going to release to wood or sand, or a natural element is what you're really releasing it to. Dirt, you know, you could just keep a little pot of dirt. Maybe I wouldn't put it into a plant because you don't really want that energy going into your plant. But maybe you just have a little bit of dirt and you could just put it in there. And that's going to clear. And I will tell you what, it works. It works. Vogels are extremely powerful tools for physical healing and really removing blockages or blocked areas in the chakras. And then you just release it out. Release that negative energy. The next thing I'm going to talk about is generators, which are these little cuties here. So generators really raise the energy level in an area. So for instance, you could have, let's just say you could have a rose quartz generator and keep it, you know, on your nightstand, which would be really great because you could then have that loving, peaceful, calming energy around you, you know, in your sacred space, your bedroom. I personally, like, this is my personal smoky quartz generator, and I keep this on my desk because smoky quartz, the legend of smoky quartz is it was once clear and it absorbed all of the negative energy, and that's what makes it this beautiful brown color. So I keep a generator of smoky quartz on my desk just to really remove any of the negative energy that might be around when I'm working. So generators are really useful in keeping the energy level high and beneficial to you when they're around you. So they're a great tool. They're, you know, you can get them bigger, you can get the smaller little cuties, and they're a nice way to kind of keep the energy free-flowing and positive and beneficial to you, so that, you know, you're not stuck with some stagnant energy that no one wants. Okay, so next would be spheres. Spheres have been used for a long time for scrying. That would mean that you look into the crystal and you really just almost meditate. See, I would also encourage you, your crystals that you have right now, if you have some, pick them up, hold them, put them in your left hand because that's your receiving. Hold them and just meditate with them. See what they're trying to say to you. And it may be words, it may be colors, maybe visions, pictures. Whatever comes through, you can kind of get the energy of the crystal just by doing that. So crystals like the spheres have been used for a long time. Usually they use black obsidian because it's like kind of a clearer surface. But indigo, gabbro is a great one to use for your intuition. Again, you can also use spheres as the center of a crystal grid. So you can have them sit in the middle of your grid. Make sure you have something that has quartz in the matrix, just so it's going to raise the energy of the rest of your crystals in your grid. They can also be used for massage. So that's another way to use your spheres that maybe we don't normally think of. I don't personally use them that often for massage, but that is a way to use them. You can also, again, just meditate with them in your hand. Just gather, getting the energy of the crystal and really trying to see what message does the crystal have for you. They're beautiful to have around, but they usually have a message for us. So it's a great way to connect with your crystal. You can also program all of your crystals for certain intents. The way I program my crystals is I would hold it in my left hand again, cover it with my right, and I just basically start saying, I'm programming this crystal for, whatever your intent is, whether it's peace, communication, love, could be anything, right? And then I always make sure to say thank you, because we want to thank the crystals for their energy and for the fact that they are going to help us manifest whatever we're looking to manifest. So next, pyramids. Now this one particular one is shungite with an organite. Organite is a resin, and then they include, you can see there's like a little quartz crystal in there. They include copper wire. Copper is an energy mover. So if you're having problems physically, it's always good to use copper. I don't have these in the store, but I do have them on my desk. I actually use little copper, little tiny balls, and you can put them on the chakra, because copper, that's all it's going to do is move energy. It's going to move blocked energy so that it's clear again. So that's another reason why the organite is a useful tool. But the way pyramids work is really for grounding and stabilizing your energy. If you think about it, because of their structure, because they're so, they have such a strong foundation here, and then they raise up to the point. That's what makes them such a great tool for grounding and stabilizing your energy. Root to crown. You can also use these in grids, as long as there's quartz in the matrix, and they will help to cleanse and balance chakras. You can also use them the same way you would typically use a single terminated wand. You're just gonna, you could put them on. Now, because this is shungite, it's perfect, right? Because it's shungite's a purifier. So again, you could use these the same way. Just visualize that energy leaving you, and you're going to come away with a more grounded, balanced feeling. You could use the bloodstone, is a great one to use for your root chakras, which is going to be your base of your tailbone. Also, these are great just to have in your energy field. If you keep them, on your desk or on your nightstand or wherever it is, next to you, it's going to keep you more centered, more grounded. Okay, so the next type of crystal, now this one's a little, I chose this one because it's a little, it's just an interesting piece because it is a cluster. So it works as a cluster, but then it has the base, and you can charge your crystals on it. So clusters are energy amplifiers. If you think about it, think of all these individual amethyst points. They're all working together to really amplify the energy that the crystal is bringing you. So they transmute energy in spaces. So in other words, they kind of turn it from negative energy or blocked energy or unuseful energy to useful, beneficial energy in your space. They're also great for cleansing your crystals. You could, put them on, put your pendants or your rings or whatever on the clusters. I've seen people even, like, if you get a big one that has almost like a cave, you could put your crystals inside that, which is, I think, a really cool idea. They're great for charging your crystals with specific energy. Like if you wanted, I always think of amethyst for strength. It's also great for intuition. You could put your crystal on top of the amethyst cluster. It's really going to just boost the properties of, strength and intuition, whatever it is you've programmed it for. And it's going to boost the properties there. And also they're great just to have around for meditation when you're meditating. They're a great tool to use to just kind of boost that signal, that frequency. So palm stones, I have this little selenite beauty. Palm stones are great. Now, depending on the size, they can be used almost like a fidget. You're just going to hold it and you're going to absorb the energy that it's giving you. They're great for on the go because they're portable, because they're not so big. They're great for meditation. And the other way that they're really great, and selenite is a great one to use for this, is to clear the energy in your field. Remember I said it's 12 inches. So just kind of clearing the negative energy from your field. So almost like a bar of soap. You're just kind of running it through your field, making sure it's clean, making sure all the energy around you is purified and beneficial so that it's working for your highest good. So that's another way that you can use, practically and every day, you can use your selenite palm stone. And you can just, you can keep one on your desk. You start getting frustrated. Something happens at work or something happens at home or something, you can keep it on your nightstand. You start getting frustrated. You got a phone call and now you're frustrated and you feel blocked. Just a quick little cleansing of the energy that's going to help lighten your spirit a little bit. So yeah, palm stones are really great to be used almost, again, as a cleansing tool. Again, you can also use them for meditation. If you have a particular palm stone that is for grounding, if you're feeling very anxious, you can just, hold it and visualize that you're receiving that energy of being grounded and centered and, calm. Next, we go to tumbled stones. Now, tumbled are kind of the all-purpose, right? Tumbled are great because, again, they're very portable. More portable, say, than the palm stone, which is a little bit bigger. And if we had to carry a bunch of palm stones in our purse or on us or in our pockets, they'd be full. So that's why tumbled stones are so great, because you can literally just put in your pocket. You can put in your purse, wherever, and it will be on you. And this is aqua obsidian, so you could just use this double meaning. You can use the obsidian part of it for grounding and really bringing your energy level calm and centered and grounded. But also you can use it for your throat chakra as well. So it's going to boost your communication. It's going to help you to speak clearly and with confidence. It's going to help you to speak your truth. So tumbled stones are great for on the go. Like this is a little piece of black tourmaline tumbled stone. I like to use black tourmaline because black tourmaline protects people, places, and things. So it's a great way to just kind of keep you safe your body, you know, yourself safe on a daily basis. You could throw it in your pocket, you could put it in your purse. A lot of people put them in their cars. You could put it in the four corners of your house. You could also put it in, I actually like to use selenite more for windows and doorways because those are entryways. But you could, and I like to use selenite mainly because it's going to purify that energy that's going through the doorways or windows. But black tourmaline, great way to just protect you and your property and, you know, whatever it is you're looking to protect. And it's, I mean, you can get little tiny ones like this. So it's not, no one's going to notice that they're even there probably, but you'll know it's there and you'll know that you're protected. So next, hearts. So hearts really connect with the energy of the heart chakra. So it's really going to be helping you to, for selenite, it's really going to be helping to purify any kind of past resentments, sadness, grief, kind of just stuck energy, maybe from a bad situation that you were in that you can't let go of. It's really going to help to do that. And again, just visualize that energy coming through the crystal to your heart chakra. You can use selenite to clear. There's also you know, little ones that you can use. Same exact principle. You're just going to put it on your heart chakra, and you're going to have that energy come through to your heart chakra. So these are Que Sera, but which is a combination of pink opal, which is really a heart chakra stone, and blue opal, which is more for the throat chakra. But again, you're just going to put it on your heart chakra. You're going to visualize that energy coming through. And it's a great little, I mean, the little ones are great to kind of hold when we're feeling like it's overwhelming, when we're feeling like our sadness is really getting to us. It's a great tool that we can use to really just hold in our hand and to, you know, visualize that energy coming to us, that healing, calming, relaxing energy. And it's going to help us to really move forward. So next we have flames. This is my personal flame, which is septarian. But flames create, because of their shape, they create a vortex of energy. So what you would do is, and I'm going to put it, actually I can stand up. You're just going to put it on your solar plexus chakra, and it's going to create a vortex of healing energy all around. So that's one way that you can use flames to really just clear the energy, provide healing energy to you for your solar plexus, which is all about our confidence. But it's also going to create a vortex almost all the way around. So because of their shape, they really boost that energy, that healing energy to us. So again, it's just going to create that swirl of healing energy, and you know, from your solar plexus all the way through your chakras. So flames are great tools for physical healing. Then we have eggs. I have a little egg here, which is very cute. It's a rose quartz one. Eggs are all about transformation. They are about rebirth, renewal. I like to use eggs in the way that you program the egg with the intention. So it could be, you know, you have a new project and you really want it to be successful. You could sit, again, you're going to put it in your left hand, you're going to cover it with your right. You're going to vocalize your intention to it. I program this crystal to whatever. And you're going to make sure you say thank you at the end. And then you're going to keep this with you. Let's say it's a new project. Let's say you're trying to attract a new love. Let's say you're trying to bring in more love into your relationship. Maybe you're trying to heal a parental relationship. Maybe you're trying to heal a friendship. Set the intention with your egg. Keep it with you. And whenever you see this egg, you're going to remember that intent. And it's really going to help to manifest your goals, whatever it may be. You know, if you wanted to heal that particular relationship, it's really going to help you to manifest that. Because intention is everything with crystals. If you're not setting the intention with your crystals, it's kind of like a car with no driver. So the car's still going to go, you know. I mean, let's just say the car ran with the pedal down, but it didn't have anybody to steer. It's still going to go, but who knows where it's going to end up, right? It may not be in the particular direction you wanted it to go. So when you set your intention, you're really setting that map of where you want that car to be. So that's why I like to use eggs for something that you're trying to bring into life. You know, a new project. It could be that you have a new hobby and you want to do it more. You're starting a new job, would be great. I would probably use like pyrite or green adventurine or something like that for a new job, just to make sure that the intent of the crystal followed through. But eggs are great because you can start them at new projects. You can keep them with you, and they really symbolize that rebirth, renewal, transformation. Okay, so the last shape I wanted to talk about is the Merkaba. So the Merkaba is a shape in sacred geometry, and hopefully you can see very well. This one is selenite, and it's two tetrahedrons, like the shape, fused together. And what they represent is the union of the upper region and the lower region. In other words, the earth, the higher realms. It's known as a spiritual activator, the Merkaba. And the word Merkaba comes from Mer, which means light, Ka, which means spirit, and then Ba, which means body. So again, it's a union of light, spirit, body, which is all about, you know, almost like an as above, so below. You can use these in meditation. You can use these to activate your higher self, to really help you connect to your spirit guides, to connect to your angelic realm, to connect to your higher intuition. You can also use these for spiritual growth, really just helping you to connect, because we're on the physical level, we're on the physical plane, helping us to connect to that higher realm, and the knowledge of that higher realm. So that's why I like to use Merkaba. Selenite's a great one for that, because selenite is already, it's a purifier, so it's really about white light energy. So selenite's going to be a great one to use to really help you connect to that. You know, maybe you feel closed off. Maybe you feel like, you know, I used to get more messages in the form of dreams, in the form of actual messages that you know, hear, in the form of intuition, whatever you want to call it. And now I don't feel that. And maybe that's because you're a little closed off in the crown chakra. So maybe working with the Merkaba, you know, again, just helping you to connect, you know, sitting in meditation and quiet, receiving those messages from the crystal and figuring out what is it trying to say to us. And I'm telling you, if you sit with your crystals and you really sit and just listen, something will come through. And it's often really interesting what you hear or what you see, because again, it could be words, but it could also be visions of something. It could also be colors that you see, and everything will have a meaning to it. So Merkabas are great for really connecting us to the divine. So I will say what I use in my arsenal for crystal healing. I use all of the shapes. I definitely use the Vogel more for physical healing when I'm sick, or I have family or friends that are sick. My Vogel is a big one for me. I'm an anxious person, so my pyramids are always there to remind me that I'm grounded and I'm safe and I'm secure and I don't have to be anxious. The vortex, you can't downplay the boost of energy and the way it comes through in that vortex. And I definitely use double turns all the time, all the time. And I use a lot of single turns all the time. Palm stones, again, you can't go wrong with palm stones. And I have crystals everywhere. I mean, as you can imagine, and some of you may too, right? I have crystals everywhere. So what's great about that is that no matter where I'm at in my house, I can always find something to use to, either help me clear or, help me ground myself, or whatever it may be that I'm looking for that particular day. So that's another way that I have crystals in all sorts of shapes. Again, carvings are really specific to the carving and the material of the crystal. So if you have, for instance, let's just say it's a selenite angel. It's really, selenite's a purifier. It's all about white light energy, and it's going to help you connect more to your angel guides. Your angels. It could be that you have a specific animal, maybe a bird, and it's made of, I don't know, fluorite or whatever, even clear quartz. Again, birds, they fly free, and they have incredible vision. So it could be helping you to learn to spread your wings. It could be helping you to learn to have clarity in your life. So it's really specific to the carving with the material that the crystal is made of. So again, it could be anything. It could be, the snakes. Snakes are great. We have some snakes in the store right now. And what I love about that is we have a labradorite snake, and snakes are all about shedding that skin because it's not working for us anymore. It's transformation. It's really about us getting to the next level. And in labradorite, labradorite is again about transformation. It's a stone that really teaches us to think bigger. And just because we're in our skin now doesn't necessarily mean that's where we want to be. Maybe we have grand visions of what we want, or maybe we've stunted our visions, which can often happen. And maybe we need to think bigger. We need to really think about, opening our vision of what we can receive in life. Because, intention is everything. And what we feel inside can often limit what comes into our lives. So it's really important to make sure that when and I know it's hard, trust me. I mean, I work on this daily, right? It's learning how to reprogram your brain from things that you learned in your childhood even. So, but it can stunt us. Okay, so let's see if anyone has questions. Patty said, what all is it made of? I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, Patty. If you could just maybe give me a clarifier there. If you're asking about the specific crystals I showed today, I have the shungite, the Vogel. Okay. So the Vogel, one thing about that I love about these vocals that we have right now is that they represent the different chakras. So we have the red jasper. I believe this is orange adventurine. We have the yellow jasper. We have the, I believe that's green fluorite, and sodalite, labradorite, and amethyst. So the red jasper is going to connect to the root chakra. So it's going to be beneficial for the root chakra. Again, protection, security. The orange aventurine is going to really connect with the sacral. So it's going to be sensuality, creativity. Yellow jasper is going to be about the solar plexus chakra, which is all about confidence. It's all about how we see ourselves. The green fluorite would be about the heart chakra, which is all about love, how we love others, how we love ourselves. Sodalite is going to be your throat chakra, which is going to be your communication, how you communicate with people. Labradorite is going to also connect with your third eye, which is going to be your intuition, also your clarity. That could be clarity as well. And your purple amethyst is going to be the crown chakra, which is going to be all about, your connection to the divine, your higher self, connecting to your higher self. So yeah, we actually currently have these in the stores. And again, when you're using them, you're going to visualize your intent for the session. Let's just say you're trying to heal someone or you're trying to heal yourself. You're going to, almost like a weaving, you're going to be digging. What you're really doing is digging into your energy field. So you don't have to dig into your skin. You don't have to even touch your skin. You're going to go right above it and you're going to just dig in. And what it's doing is collecting all of that negative, blocked, stagnant energy here. And then what you're going to do is, I usually use wood just because it's more prevalent. I have my desk and things around. So I usually use wood. And you're going to just, put it on a wood surface. I don't have anything that I could show, but you're going to just, with this end, let's say that my hand was wood, you're going to take this end and just kind of tap it. You kind of, almost like you're shaking it out like a salt shaker. And just a couple times, and then you could do it again and tap, do it again and tap. And what you're doing is you're digging in and collecting again that negative, stagnant, blocked energy in a particular area. It could be, there's chakras all over your body. When I talk about chakras, I'm usually just talking about the main 7. But you could do it wherever. It could be your heart, it could be, your third eye, your crown. And again, just remember, you have to release that energy. You don't want it to stay in the crystal, and you want to make sure you clear your crystals too. So you can use white sage smoke, Palo Santo. You can use, people have all sorts of tools to use. You could use your selenite. If you have black kyanite, which is usually what I use sometimes because it's just so quick and easy. You could just touch the black kyanite to the wand and it's going to really clear the energy, but you want to make sure it's cleared before you start your healing and then after you're done with your healing, just to make sure that you don't store it here. It's going to still, but you want to make sure, it's still got energy running through it. You just don't want to you want to make sure that it's ready for your next session. Okay, if anybody else has any questions, be happy to answer them. I hope this was beneficial for everyone. I'm just basically telling you things that I use on a daily basis. Oh, you're so welcome. Things that I use on a daily basis. I use these when I don't feel well. Another useful tip that I will say, and it's one that I use, which is an on-the-go kind of a meditation, but in the shower, if you visualize your white light coming down over you, and then visualize also just visualize, remember I said the dark almost smoky, visualize that going down the drain. It's a nice way to kind of clear. And it's, it's quick and easy. Does size matter? The bigger the size, the it doesn't necessarily matter, but obviously more of the crystal is going to give it a little boost. You know, if you're working with something like this versus something like this, it's gonna be a little bit different. But usually wands are pretty big. But I will say this: if you have a terminated pendant, you use it the same way. Use it the same way. I don't particularly have a pendant on right now that's terminated, but you could use it the exact same way. And that's a great way to use it on the go. Do you have time? The pendulums. Okay. Yes. I only have my personal pendulum here, but I can talk about it. So pendulums are a great tool to give us quick answers. And again, this is my personal pendulum that I have. When you work with it, you're just going to be asking it for guidance. So you're going to say, I'm going to program this pendulum to provide answers for me that will be beneficial to my life, to my healing, whatever it is you're asking for. And the way you use pendulums, when you really start to connect with your pendulum, you're going to be asking it to tell you which direction it's going to show you yes. So I'm trying to be as still as I can. Hopefully I can get it. So you can see it's going back and forth like this. So that means yes. Then you're going to kind of reset it. You're going to say, show me no. You can see it's going like this now. So that'll mean no. You could say, show me, I don't know. I don't know if you could see that, but it's going in a circle now. Isn't that cool? Pendulums are your easiest way for quick answers, guidance. So we can ask it whatever we want to ask it. We can say, maybe you're choosing between two different things. Should I do this or should I do that? Of course, I'm not going to ask it that because it's going to be like, what are you talking about, lady? You didn't really ask me anything. But that's how you're going to use pendulums. Just work with your pendulum. You can work with it every day. You can ask it anything you want to ask it for guidance, and it's gonna guide you in your everyday life. It could be, are you choosing between two projects? Are you, which way is going to be healthiest for you? Which way, it could be anything. I mean, it could be which person should I hang out with today? It's gonna give you the answers that you need. So that's a great way to work with pendulum. I personally have. I'm trying to think of how many I have. I have 4 pendulums on a stand that way. I have at least 2 that I keep on my desk in front of me. And whenever I need that quick guidance, I'm just gonna go right to the pendulum. And it's going to tell me, another really cool trick. So each crystal has a dominant oscillatory rate. We're really getting into it now, which is what we call the DOR, which is how fast the energy spends in the crystal. So root chakra crystals have a slower spin, right? They're not as fast. Crown chakra crystals have a higher spin. They're faster. So one thing that really resonated with me a long time ago is that if you're very anxious, you need to get back the root. That's the root chakra, right? That means your root chakra is out of balance when you're really anxious all the time. So you're going to be wanting to work with your black and red crystals, because they are going to connect with your root chakra and really help you feel protected and secure and safe. So one of the cool things you can do is really, with your different crystals, really see what is the spin like on the crystal? So we have our root chakra. Let's see. Let's bring it up to can you see the difference in speed? That's a fun trick to play with at home with your pendulum. So just take your different crystals. You can look up, which crystal connects with which chakra. Use your pendulum and see the different speeds of your pendulum. It's a great trick. It's really fun to do. And it will 100% show you the different energy spin. So, again, like if you're really anxious all the time, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh, I have this, this meeting or this job interview and I'm really, really nervous. Don't wear quartz because quartz is really a connection to the crown, and quartz is gonna, can you imagine if you're nervous and you're like, I need to calm down, and you wear something that goes like that? It's not good. It's just gonna ramp. Another way to think about this too, and I think about this a lot. You could program. Quartz is the most programmable crystal you can use. Most programmable. They use it in computers. So you can program quartz to act as another crystal. You can program quartz to act as black tourmaline. It's crazy, but it's true and it works. And one of the things that I like to do when I program quartz is I always make sure to say that I want the crystal to work for my highest good. Because if you have a lot of quartz in your, let's say you're programmed all your quartz to really help you connect to visions and divine guidance, and you have a lot of quartz in your bedroom, you might have insomnia. Just because the spin is very high. So again, when you're thinking about the different chakras and how they relate to the crystals, that will have to come into play, the spin. Because, if you're really anxious, you really want the grounded energy of a root chakra stone. You do not want any crown, any of the upper chakras, because it will increase the spin and it will really ramp up your anxiety. And you won't even know why, but that's why, because of the rate of spin of the crystal, the energy, the way it flows. Okay, does anyone have any other questions? Because I love talking about crystals. Could do that all day. If you just want great all-purpose, a palm stone is great, because again, I'm just going to keep it going through your field, clearing out the energy. If you're looking for great purifiers of energy, you can't go wrong with shungite. You can't go wrong with selenite. Those are going to be your purifiers of energy. And black kyanite, wowza. I use black kyanite all the time. And I use it to clear my other crystals. That is how clearing and purifying black kyanite is. It's very, very powerful. I think I covered everything on my notes. So if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. Just, again, sitting with your crystals, meditating with them. What are they trying to say to you? We look up the properties of crystals all the time, but it may have a specific message for you. Shungite, by the way, like I said, quartz used in computers. Oh, you're so welcome, Patty. Crystals considered free forms have a certain thing. I consider free forms as almost like big generators, depending on their shape. Some free forms have a little bit of a shape to them, more of a vortexy kind of flow. But yeah, I usually consider them almost like big generators. So they're really boosting and amplifying the energy of the crystal to you. So they'd be another great one to have around you, you know, if it's again, rose quartz in the bedroom, right? Because it's all about love, it's all about compassion, understanding, self love. So that would be a great one. But, you know, just they're going to boost the energy and amplify that energy out to you. So you could use, I mean, I have, you know, an appetite free form that's about this big. That's a great one for really helping to kind of clear the vision. Just because, you know, if if you're constantly receiving messages, sometimes the clarity of it can get lost. So I use that to really help me to clear, be clear on what I'm seeing and be clear on the messages I'm receiving. So that's another thing. Any other questions? And again, I will say morganastreasures.com. I'll get in trouble if I don't say that. And all these products, I think, with the exclusion of the flame and my smoky quartz and this little cutie generator, all the other products that I showed tonight are on our site right now and are available. This is not a wand I would be sending to someone. This is one that is mine, but I do have these in the shop. So they're all available at morganastreasures.com, and I hope that this was helpful for everyone. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I hope that everyone is going to have a great weekend and really get some messages from your crystals, you know, or your pendulums. Of course, yes, it's my pleasure, Sybil. I really enjoyed this time. You know, I could talk about crystals all day long. So I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you did too. And I hope that you all have a great weekend. Connect with your crystals, see what they're trying to say to you. Have a great weekend.